What's going on, guys? How's it going? Welcome to the vlog channel. Is that how I should start out these intros? I'm not gonna do that. But how's it going, guys? Welcome. I'm throwing the camera all over the place. I'm gonna come sit you down over here where I normally freaking film stuff. My voice is going out. It's all like I don't know why. I don't know if I'm getting sick or whatever, my voice just sounds different. It sucks because I've been trying to film a Birds of Prey related video for the main channel. Definitely go check that out. Also go check out my freaking Batman related video because we finally got some information about that. But this video on the vlog channel is I wanted to give a comic book update because I said I was going to be doing that on this channel. Because, you know, just to get other people to come over here. But no, to be honest, I just feel like I can just ramble and I don't gotta make these videos flashy or anything, so. And I know some people actually care about what's going on with the comic book. And, well, it's been very slow lately. That is, for sure, the one thing that's been going on with the comic book. But I think the reason why the comic book is suffering a little bit because of the videos. And I know people are like, what? Why is that? Blah, blah, blah. Because it's very hard to split yourself creatively into two different things. Like, I feel like a lot of people are really good at one thing until they master it, and then they're like, okay, now I can go do something else. But I also believe those same people don't have to work like 40 to 50 plus hours a week on a day job and do a whole bunch of other things that go on in life as well. And I think that's where I'm at right now. I have to still work my day job because I got bills and stuff, and then I got to try to edit and, you know, make these videos and then try to write a comic book. And that's where the comic book's suffering, basically. And I used to, there's a lot of like drama and just chaos and stuff going on in my job now. And I know if you've been watching this channel for a really long time, and I've actually used to vlog from my work and stuff, it's changed. Like, I can't even take my phone out at my job anymore, or like I risk getting written up or like fired or something like that. So it's become really insane and crazy at my job. So I'm not able to really work on stuff like I used to. I used to edit at my job. I used to write the comic book there. Like, I could still swing the comic book thing, but unfortunately, I'll like try to research stuff on my phone and then write down the comic book. Like if I need like a word or to make sure something doesn't sound different or whatever. So it's just me trying to figure out how I can get around these things now to try to get back on track, to save time and to just make things work. So it's been rough. It's been a big adjustment, but I've been so into getting back into videos again because I just, you know, we built up the channel over there so well that I wanted to keep working on videos and I didn't want to just make it go away. So yeah, that's what's going on there. For the comic book in general, this is another thing that happened too. So if you guys follow me on Twitter, I talked about how the first issue was done. Like, I was like, hell yeah, it was so awesome. The first issue of my own comic book is finally done. But one thing I did say in those tweets was that it was just the dialogue. Just the dialogue of the comic book was done. And I thought it was this huge success. And I was like, yes, finally. I just got to go in. The descriptions are nothing. I just got to say, like, in classroom, in whatever. The script is, like, still really raw right now. And I'm redoing it. I'm re-editing it because, and this might have been a mistake on my part, or it might have not been, because it might have showed me that I could get to a higher quality. But I kind of also stopped writing the comic book to write an X-Men comic book just because I was so inspired for some reason to write this X-Men story that I've been writing. Like, it was in my brain, like, ooh, this story, and it should be really good, and it should start off like this, and this should happen, and these should be the characters. And I literally wrote the first issue of my own X-Men story that'll hopefully see the light of day in the future if I ever become big enough and Marvel's like, we want you to work with us. And that was just cool. It was awesome to finally do something like that. And it was just like, all right, cool. And I showed it to some friends. Like, I literally did it all the way page 1 to page 22. And I let some of my friends read it, and a lot of them loved it. They thought it was awesome. Of course, they critiqued like little like words, or they critiqued like I don't think that's what that's called, because like you know, it's just whatever. The way I phrase things might have been different. So there's there's imperfections in it, but the overall story and then the way they read it was just, they were like, this, I was intrigued. That was really awesome. And I actually let people that don't even read comic books read it, and they were they enjoyed it. So that got me really inspired to go back and like rewrite my story, my first issue. And in doing that, I'm just like, this doesn't compare to the X-Men comic at all. And the two biggest differences there is, my comic book, I'm creating from scratch. Like, it's pure, like, scratch. I'm making up the own characters. I'm making up the events. I'm making up everything. Whereas X-Men, it's so easy just to write a character that's existed for years. Like, I'm like, Wolverine does this, or Gambit does that. Rogue comes in and punches so-and-so in the face. Like, it's so easy to write that. You just need a really good story to put these awesome characters into. Whereas in mine, I got to make the characters awesome at the same time of making an awesome story. So that's where I'm kind of running into, and just doing the, like, I don't know, as I'm rereading it, I'm like, this doesn't seem as cool or flows as awesome as my X-Men story. So that's kind of where I'm at with the comic book right now. So it's kind of all over the place, but I'm trying to get back into it for sure. But like I said, right now with the not comic book, but with the videos and stuff, I feel like that's taking up a lot of my time, because again, I edit everything, I research everything, I gotta film everything, all that jazz. So yeah, but that's pretty much the update for life right now. Just kind of trying to get back in the swing of things. So again, I've been posting a bunch of videos on the main channel. Definitely go watch those. Give those some love if you haven't seen them yet. And yeah, so that's kind of the comic book update. Other than that, life. Let me see, what else can I talk about in life? Haven't completed one goal at all on my goals list, which I find hilarious. Which, literally, there's one that, by the end of this year, I'm telling you, mark it in your calendar, put it in your notebooks, whatever, I don't care, research this video, and if it doesn't happen, if you don't see a video about this by the end of the year on this channel, then you can come yell at me and be like, Juice, you're a bitch, and oh my god, you're dumb. I mean, I'm pretty sure some of you guys will tell me that even if I do the video, but still, on my thing, I have it, it's, on here it says kickflip, because I messed up, but I want to kickflip my skateboard, like, easily. I want to be able to have it down. Like, I want to be able to just get on a kickboard and go, boop, and be all badass. I've landed a few kickflips in my life, but I've never been able to just, like, solidify and just, like, boom, like nothing. That's what I want to do, or at least do it enough for that video. Because I don't really skateboard anymore. I don't live in an area that has, like, a skate park or anything like that, or just smooth ground, because that's what you need. And a lot of my friends are, like, we're a lot older and stuff. Not everybody skateboards anymore, so it's kind of just like whatever. But I would just want to, for my own satisfaction, and I also have a badass Harley Quinn skateboard that's just sitting in my car. I want to be able to land a kickflip easily. That one, if anything, that will be the one that's done. To be honest, if I might learn to ride a bike before I do the kickflip thing, that wouldn't be a lie at all. So that's very possible too. But we'll see. But there's got to be at least one freaking red line on that damn canvas by the time this year ends, and hopefully there'll be a video about it to commemorate it on here on this channel, because that's the plan. That's the plan. The Juice Do It series will eventually happen on this channel for sure. But yeah, so that's one thing, weirdness going on in life. Other than that, I don't know. San Diego Comic-Con was awesome. If you guys, obviously, if you didn't see that, that was, go watch that vlog on the main channel. That was pretty fun. What else? I've been really, okay, so this will be the last bit of information for this vlog, but I've really been wanting to, like, do a podcast. But at the same time, the podcast is something that I want to hold off on. The reason why is because the podcast, like, there's a lot of cool podcasts out there. I mean, obviously, everybody and anybody can start up a podcast as long as you got a way to... If you got a cell phone, boom, podcast is doable. Because you literally just got to put a cell phone on the table and you can just talk to it. And that'll be your podcast. And then you just got to upload it. So, but I want to... I don't know, because I think a lot of people think, like, for me, if you were to watch, or, like, you see my content, you see how I am on Instagram or whatever, you would assume that my podcast would be nerd-related. And, yeah, it would definitely would have those elements, but I'd prefer the podcast to be more than that. I would want it to be a podcast that it's funny because, like, I know, like, this would be the worst thing to equate it to right now because there's been some drama around the guy. but it would be like the Nerdist podcast. It would be like it's called the ID10T podcast now. Although it hasn't been on since his little scandal. No matter what you think of Chris Hardwick, the person, his podcast skills are fucking phenomenal. He's a great podcaster. And I think, like, a lot of people give him shit for, you know, you're like, oh, he's such a kiss ass and stuff. I'm like, well, if you've heard a lot of his podcasts, he'll challenge you on something, but he's not, like, hardcore about it. I would want to have a podcast that is about conversations. Man, if you've been watching me for a long time, I'm talking about, like, probably since I started, there was this little stint that I wanted to try to do on, I don't think it was on this channel, it might have been on the main channel, that I wanted to start a series called Let's Start a Conversation. And what it was, and this was, okay, you know how old this was? You were able to do video replies in the comments. If you're too young to know that there was video replies in the comments, then you're hella young. But, because YouTube's been around, what, over 10 years now? 12 years, something like that? But anyways, 2005, 13 years. You know, freaking YouTube's been around. So yeah, you used to be able to video reply to people. Instead of just leaving a comment, you used to be able to leave a video as a response. And I had this series called Let's Start a Conversation. And what it was just me talking. And I wanted to just talk to people. And I actually got a few replies from random people, which was cool. And so what I would do is I had another channel, which I don't even know if it exists anymore. It was called like Juicy Replies or something like that. And I literally just uploaded videos talking to these people. So we were having conversations through video. So you'd have to watch every video to see what the conversation was about. But it only lasted, I talked to like 2 or 3 people. Like it was kind of a failed experiment. I mean, I probably had under 100 subscribers when it happened. So, I don't know. It was just something I wanted to try out. But I've always been like in this mindset. I've always been interested in conversations because I feel like the only way people are ever going to grow, the only way we're ever going to progress is if we have conversations. And I would like to talk to people that I normally wouldn't talk to, you know what I mean? Like, because I think it's the only way we'll understand. And I feel like there's a thing in society, right? And you guys, again, if you follow me on Twitter, you know that I'm very opinionated about things. But I feel like there's this big overreaction culture going on, and everybody needs to be perfect, and nobody can make flaws. And I don't agree with that. I think people are flawed, and I think people become better people because of their flaws, not because they try to be perfect and they try to be politically correct all the time and all that jazz. But at the same time, I don't agree that everybody should be able to say whatever the hell they want and nothing's wrong, because there's, you know, racist shit, you know, all that other kind of shit is what exists and shouldn't be said. But if you did say shit in the past and that's brought up today, but you're a better person now, I don't think you should be crucified for it. So you know what I mean? Like, there's just this weird dynamic going on in the world. And I feel like the only way we're ever going to learn is if we talk to these people. We talk about why you think that. Like, why do you think that's okay? Blah, blah, blah kind of things. That's what I would love to have on there. But at the same time, with those people, if I don't agree with their opinions, I would still like to know, like, well, what do we do agree on? Do we agree on movies? Do we agree on video games? Do we agree on books, food, whatever? That's the kind of podcast I would like to have. It would just be a conversation with people. And I would like to have every kind of different person on there. You know, I would like to have my friends. I'd like to have family. I'd like to have, you know, like, let's get a freaking politician on there to find out their side of politicians. Like, why do you want to be in politics? Like, what do you think? Is it all lies? Blah, blah, blah. You know, let's get, like, some geeks on there. Let's get some, you know, just everything. Like, I wouldn't want to have limits. Like, I would even like to talk to the craziest people that there are. Probably have security there just in case they're that crazy. But you know what I mean? Like, I would like to just push the boundaries with those conversations in a podcast form. Because, I don't know, I just feel like it would be really interesting. So, yeah, that's kind of what I would like to do eventually. And it's a reason why I don't start it now. I could start the podcast now, but I also don't want to do, I could, it's not really that big of a deal, but I don't want to do the podcast in like, all right, let me have a really good mic and then you record with your really crappy phone audio or whatever, because I feel like it's for the viewer, I mean, I should say for the listener, sorry, I got the burps. For the listener, I don't think that's very, like, engaging, or it's very aesthetically pleasing, or whatever the right word is. So yeah, that's kind of why I haven't done that yet. And I also would like to have a video vlog for it, because just in case if it ever did maybe get uncomfortable, people could see that. I don't know. I would love to have it as a video vlog version, or maybe just have like the best parts in a video form and then they have like the full thing in audio form. So I don't know. It would be really cool. I think that would be like just something I really want to do with the podcast, and it's something I've thought about, especially with everything going on in today's world. I feel like there's so many conversations, whether you agree or disagree with James Gunn getting, like, you know, fired from Guardians of the Galaxy. I have so many thoughts on that. Or, you know, just stuff going on in society with politics and all that jazz. And, I mean, shit, even what's going on with the Batman. If you haven't seen that video, go watch it. But yeah, so that's kind of just been life. A lot of things going on in this head of mine. And, yeah, just trying to get back to videos, trying to get back to making comics, just trying to get back to being good old Juicebox. But yeah, anyways, guys, I want to make a vlog for you because I told you guys to come subscribe to this channel. There's going to be content over here. And yeah, it's just my outlet to get my ideas out there and to talk to people. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. As always, guys, I am your host, Juicebox. Remember, I used to have a different outro for this. Oh well, I don't remember. But yeah, anyways, guys, see you next time. That doesn't turn off.